Hello, welcome to the European Parliament. We're here again to meet another interesting MEP Cecilia Wikstrom. She's from Sweden and she's a member of the Alliance Group of Liberals and Democrats for Europe. Welcome.
Thank you.
During the written declaration for 112 accessible services for our campaign, you supported our campaign through your signature. And I remember that is when we met. And I was surprised that you knew a little bit of Swedish Sign Language. How did you become interested in Swedish Sign Language, and what is your relationship with the Swedish deaf community?
It started when I was a young student at the university, and I studied to become a priest for the Lutheran Church in Sweden, and I came across a priest for the deaf community, and so I signed up to take a program for I think 2 or 3 hours, and I wanted to learn to do a little bit of the liturgy in sign language. I never managed though, but I do know the letters. And I can introduce myself by the letters, but that's about it. But I find it very beautiful, and I wish I would have the time to learn it. Who knows? Maybe one day I will.
Well, let's hope that is possible in the future so that you can learn a little bit more of sign language. You are a member of the Committee on Legal Affairs.
Yes.
And I would like to ask you if you think that deaf people nowadays, they have the same equal access to legal issues at a European level? If it's so, how? And if you don't think it's so, how are you planning on working in the future for deaf people to have equal access?
Well, it's difficult to tell. Since I am not a deaf person, I am not the one to judge whether if the accessibility is there or not. But what I'm trying to say is that disabilities of all kinds are human rights issues and must be regarded upon as such. In the Legal Affairs Committee, as well as in every committee in this House, we should always keep in mind that what we are doing has to be accessible to everybody, all of our citizens throughout the member states, irrespective of what kind of disability we might have. It's a human rights issue, and it's also an issue of not only accessibility but also free movement. And free movement for human beings, for persons, is one of the basic pillars for free movement and for the European Union. I would like to say also the wording that is to me so important. Nothing about disabled people without including them in the work, and so nothing about disabled without them. And that is something that we all should take into consideration, not only once in a while, but every day and in every issue.
Great. You're also a member of the Disability Intergroup, of which MEP Adam Kosha is the president. Your work inside the Disability Intergroup regarding deaf people and sign languages, could you give us a little bit more input on that?
Well, what I have done is to sign up for the written declaration on 112, accessible to everybody. But since Adam is our chairperson, and he himself is a leading figure for the whole European deaf community, I have decided not to interfere in his domain, so to speak. I do independent living, basically, and the right to personal assistance for disabled people. And I led the Freedom Drive in Strasbourg last year, for instance. Of course, I come across deaf people also in this community, because there are people with multi-disabilities. So you can be in a wheelchair and still be and also at the same time be a deaf person. So of course I meet with them, but it would be not a very appropriate use of human resources if I would double what Adam is doing so beautifully. So we are trying to specialize in various fields. And independent living is indeed a very important issue to address. So I'm trying to focus on that.
Great. Well, thank you for your time and thank you for this interview.
Thank you very much. And I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks.